All right, today we're going to talk about ESL learning, English as a second language learning. I'm here with Shaddy Hicks, a good friend of mine. We were both all-state academic honors for 2018, so she's done some amazing things at South Puget Sound Community College. And so I brought her here today to talk about that experience of how she went from being an English second language learner to being a person who was honored as a star academic at SPSCC. So Shaddy, if you want to start off real quick, talking about your story coming to America, and what landed you at SPSCC?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Brandon, for giving me some opportunity to talk about myself and share my story with other students.
There you go.
So when I came to America 3 years ago, I didn't really know what I'm going to do in my life. And I was having a hard time writing, listening, and speaking in English. Although in my country, we were given education in English, but due to some circumstances that I couldn't even pursue my education to a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that was Malaysia. That was Malaysia for everyone listening. That was Malaysia. She came over from Malaysia. So.
Malaysia is a country in Southeast Asia. It's a developed country, but we also have some problem with education.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of financial resources and poverty, stuff like that. So people like me who came from lower social class, we don't really have a lot of opportunity, to continue our studies. So my husband and I talk about it, and he said, why don't we just try our luck, move to US, and you can go to school there. I said, okay, and then we moved back to US. So we decided that SPSCC maybe will be my best choice, to pursue my dream of education here. And I started my journey in SPSCC from English level 4, if I'm correct, which is
like equivalent to like being in fourth grade, right? It's essentially the same thing as fourth grade English, right? Isn't that the same thing? It's kind of crazy. Just for everyone out there.
Kind of like you have to start from scratch,
It's crazy.
And during that time, I was so insecure talking to people, even writing simple essay, like a short paragraph of essay. It freaked me out.
Mm.
But I didn't think that as a way of, not want to learn,
Right.
And I try my hard. I asked a lot of questions from my professor, and surprisingly, I passed level 4 and I jumped straight to level 6 within a quarter.
Now let's talk about your progression from going from ESL 4 all the way up to English 101 and English 102. Now you said you got an A in English 102. I'm not sure if you said you got an A in English 101 or whatever, but just for everyone out there, English 102 is the last class you take before you get transferred to university. If that's what you're trying to do. So English 102 is an advanced class where you're going to be doing argumentative essays, argument research essays, which are very in-depth and not easy classes. So, Shad, if you want to talk about your progression from getting from ESL 4 to 102, getting an A in 102, talk about that for a second, because that's a fantastic accomplishment.
Yeah. So when I jumped straight to level 6 from level 4, I didn't really have a lot of confidence whether I'm gonna take college level English class. But I have surrounded with amazing people, especially my professors and my friends, my spouse, who never stopped supporting me. And then they all say, yes, everyone is actually having the same struggle you're having now, but you just need to push yourself harder. Which how I did it was, I just read a lot of materials.
Yeah,
I
let's talk
read
about
books.
reading. Reading. How much were you reading to gain the skills to have done what you did?
Every morning before I go to class, I will start reading some articles, like a news articles
Hmm.
that for the day,
Hmm.
and I will highlight the vocabulary that I encounter and
Hmm.
then find the meaning on dictionary.
Hmm.
So that's how I actually do review on my English class. And then after level 6, my professor say, hey, why don't you just try uh, English 95, which is two level above English
Okay.
level 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
interesting. Okay.
And I said, okay, I will took that chance. I will do English 95. To my surprise, from English 95, I I managed to work myself up to English level 101
Mm.
within 1 quarter.
Mm.
This is so different than other students because they have to do, one level from one level to another level. You
Hmm.
cannot just jump straight 2 level up.
Mm.
So I believe that is because of my hard working, because of how I read materials every day, at least 3 materials. It can be novel, it can be news article, it can be just a forum on the internet that I join, just
Mm.
to improve my English. That's how I did it.
Amazing. Now we can finish off this interview with two questions. The first one would be, what was the hardest part about your journey going from ESL 4 to finishing English 102? What do you think? What was the hardest part?
The hardest part is, you know, in my culture in Malaysia, we don't actually teach students how to think out of the box,
Hmm.
think critically and logically, because Asian people believe in test taking. You have to remember facts and stuff so that you can get good grades and go to good university. But
Hmm.
there is no like you have to think critical. So
Hmm.
that was my biggest challenge in English 101 and English 102. I bought a lot of books that teaching me how to challenge your brain to think outside of the box.
Mm.
I read those books and took notes from it. And then whenever I have assignment, I skim through what I wrote on my assignment, and then I will find which points I need to elaborate more, and with logical thinking. It's
Hmm.
some random things that I throw on my paper because I want to impress my professor that I can think more than what they expect me to think.
Right. What was the If you have two tips of advice for people who are potentially in the same situation as you were in a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, a year ago, when you were in ESL 4, what is the best two tips of advice that you would give to somebody who is looking for that, who has hunger for success, but has that barrier of being an ESL student at a low level?
For me, for if you ask me personally, what you need to do is first you don't give up. This part of education journey. Somehow, when you go to the higher level classes, you're gonna encounter harder stuff that you need to write and think about. So you have to start practicing from the lower level classes. And what I can say is ask questions a lot from your professor. Even if they don't want to help you, that's fine. At least you tried. And go around the campus, find people you can talk to. That's what I did, to improve my English. I just talk to random people here. Well,
Mm.
maybe people will think, oh, this girl is just trying to be too friendly or whatever. But I don't care because that's how the way I want to improve myself. That's the tip that I can offer to any students.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shaddy, for sharing. That'll be the end of the interview. Now, what's so cool about Rocket Student is that if you want to get in contact with Shaddy, we have three different forms of communication. So Shaddy's going to be helping out with Rocket Student now as one of my teammates, which I'm super excited about. You can get in contact with her three ways. Number one would be emailing her through the Rocket Student platform on Canvas. Number two would be chat. You can live chat with her. We have a chat on the sidebar on the Rocket Student Canvas page. There's a live chat. You can get in contact with her that way. And then the third way is really cool, is what is the same communication platform that we're using right now. It's called Zoom. We can do Zoom phone calls to help students deal with any issues that they're having. SIP to sound face-to-face Zoom phone calls the same way that we're doing this interview right now. So again, thank you so much, Shaddy.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, you bet.
Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.